Yes, good afternoon, students. I'm audible, no? Yes, I will continue now. So, you remember what we have done in the last class? We were talking about the formation of ionic bond. Okay, ionic bond I have discussed, and then I explained you with the help of sodium chloride how sodium chloride formation takes place. Sodium loses one electron to become stable, and that one electron lost by the sodium is taken by chlorine atom and they get converted to chloride, again becoming stable. So due to that opposite charges develop between the sodium and the chloride ion, there is a force of attraction developed which leads to formation of ionic bond. So it's a complete transfer of electron from one atom to another atom. Okay, so that was ionic bond example. Now after that I explained you what are the factors which favors the formation of the ionic bond. Okay, so the factors favoring the formation of ionic bond, first one I told you that if an ionic bond has to be formed, you have seen there should be a positive ion and then there should be a negative ion, and between these ions there should be a force of attraction developed which leads to formation of ionic bond. So to form this cation, they should be able to give that electron very easily. Okay, so if they give out the electron easily, only then it will give rise to this cation. So they should be having very low ionization enthalpy. Okay, they should give that electron easily and get converted to a positive ion. Okay, so that should be the first factor favoring the ionic bond. The ions should be formed readily. Okay, so if the cation has to be formed readily, then they should lose that electron. So to lose that electron, the amount of energy required should be very less. Only then the cation will be formed very easily. And second thing, the electron which is lost by the cation should be able to be received by the negative ion. Okay, so if they have very high effective nuclear charge, they will take that electron readily. Okay, so that means they should have high electron gain enthalpy. Okay, like for example, if I am explaining something, you should be able to receive that. Okay, see, if only I am speaking and then if you don't respond, it will be like one way communication and there won't be any bond developed. So here in the ionic bond, what happens, if one is giving, the other one is taking easily. So due to that opposite charges, there will be a force of attraction developed. So when I am explaining, if you respond, okay, if you of you respond very well, so that develops a bond between us. Okay, so here also same thing is happening. One is giving and the other one is receiving it. Okay, so due to that opposite charges, there will be a force of attraction and that leads to formation of ionic bond. Okay, now the third reason I had given to you, if you remember, that is called as lattice enthalpy. Okay, so this was the explanation. Lattice enthalpy means because ionic compounds, they are existing in the solid state. So what happens over here, once they lose the electron, this cation which is generated, no, like we are explaining the formation, how this formation into the solid state might have taken place. So here this metal which has lost the electron, they will be in the gaseous state, and this non-metal also, I'll just write that as N, in the negative charge in the gaseous state. Okay, so when these two combine together to form a solid, okay, when they are combining together to form the solid compound, that time how much amount of energy is released to form 1 mole of these ionic compound. Okay, when 1 mole of cation combines with 1 mole of anion to form this 1 mole of ionic compound, that time whatever amount of energy is released, that itself is called as lattice enthalpy. Okay, that is called as lattice enthalpy. So higher the lattice enthalpy, stable will be that compound. Okay, so more and more lattice enthalpy, more amount of energy they have released during the formation of this ionic compound, that particular ionic compound will be more stable because they have done more work. Okay, so more work is been done to form this particular bond. Okay, so when the energy gets released, the compound becomes more stable and the bond becomes more stronger between them. Okay, So here also I gave you example of friendship. If two people have helped each other, they have spent the time, okay, so in the long run you will see that the bond between them will be very strong, okay, because so much amount of energy is being spent. So the third party coming and breaking this bond will be very difficult. So they have to like come up with a huge idea where they have to break this particular bond. So that will require a lot of energy, okay, when the bond between them is very stable and when it is very strong, okay. So that is lattice enthalpy. You can even, I said, this in this case it will be negative because I said work is being done by them, so then it will be negative. The reverse order, okay, that is also lattice enthalpy, means when you take 1 mole of ionic compound, imagine that this side you can see, no, the solid compound, okay. So if you take 1 mole of solid compound and then you supply the amount of energy to that, so that time how much energy you have to supply to break them into their gaseous constituent ions, that is also lattice enthalpy. So there you are supplying, okay, so then the value is going to be positive because delta H value will be positive because you are supplying, the reaction is endothermic. If they are giving out, the value is going to be negative because in that case the reaction is exothermic, okay, but the values will be similar. Only the thing is, if they are forming, it is released by them. If we are breaking them, then we have to supply the energy, okay. So these reasons, factors favoring the formation of ionic bond, low ionization enthalpy they should have, the for the cations who are forming the cation, and then high electron gain enthalpy for the anions, and then higher lattice enthalpy, stable will be that ionic compound, okay. So much you have written, no, in the last class. Now I'll give you the definition for lattice enthalpy. Okay, till here I had explained, but then I just wanted to brief you through this. Okay, now you can write down the definition for lattice enthalpy. It is the amount of energy required to completely separate 1 mole of the solid ionic compound into their gaseous constituent ions. In this case, whatever energy you are supplying, that itself is called as lattice enthalpy. If you want, I'll give you the example of NaCl. Okay, so NaCl in the solid state, from their solid state, whatever energy you are supplying to break them into their constituent ions, that is sodium in their gaseous state and then chloride ion into their gaseous state, whatever energy you are supplying over here, this itself is called as lattice enthalpy, okay. So if energy is supplied, okay, if energy is supplied, then delta H value is going to be positive, okay. And then if energy is released, if energy is released by them, then delta H value is going to be negative. Positive means the reaction is endothermic and negative means the reaction is exothermic, okay. So reverse order will be exothermic, this order will be endothermic, okay. From towards my left side to right side if I'm going, that is endothermic, but from the right side if you're going towards the left side, it will be exothermic. Yes, the screen is visible, no, now for everyone. This means you're heating, okay? This triangle symbol stands for heating. You're supplying the energy here. Triangle symbol in thermodynamics. You'll be studying that chapter, but now this much is enough, okay? If you remember energy supplied, you remember positive, and then if energy is released, it is negative. Triangle I just wrote so that because energy is being supplied during the reaction. Yes, done? Finished, students? Should I explain this energy part once again? Endothermic and exothermic. Okay. Lattice enthalpy is clear. Did you understand this part? What is lattice enthalpy? Lattice enthalpy means it is the amount of energy you have to supply to break this 1 mole of ionic compound into their gaseous constituent ions. Okay. How much energy you are supplying? Just remember in simple terms. How much energy you are supplying to break them. Lattice means that whole structure is there, no? Of sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, when they are in their proper solid form, with the correct arrangement, that is called as lattice, crystal lattice. Okay, so from that lattice you have to get them out and convert them into their gaseous ion. You are just separating them. Okay, so when you are separating this ionic compound into their gaseous ion, how much amount of energy are you supplying? That energy is called as lattice enthalpy. So we can't talk about 1 sodium chloride because calculating for 1 sodium chloride is difficult. So that is the reason why we calculate for 1 mole of the ionic compound. We take 1 mole of the compound and then we heat that particular compound. Okay. So when this ionic compound is heated, that time when they get converted into their ions, okay, gaseous ion, when they are getting converted into their gaseous ion, that time we are checking out how much energy we have supplied for doing this process, how much energy we have really passed through the sodium compound, sodium chloride compound, to break them into their sodium ions and chloride ions, okay, when they have got converted into their gaseous state. So that energy is called as lattice enthalpy. So I said, if you are supplying, okay, if you are supplying the energy to break this bond, since we are supplying the energy, the reaction will be endothermic. Okay. But if the molecules itself are releasing the energy, that will be reverse process. Okay. This way, if I'm going towards the left, from the left towards the right side, this way if the reaction is happening, that reaction is going to be endothermic because already there is a bond between sodium and chlorine is having a force of attraction. That force of attraction, if you are breaking, then you have to supply. They will not break by themselves, okay, unless there is an external force acting on them to break this bond. Okay, so once the energy is being supplied to them, they will break down. So I said delta H value is going to be positive in this case. But if they are in their ion form, okay, when they are in the sodium gaseous ion and chloride gaseous ion, okay, when they combine together due to the force of attraction, okay, if the bond is going to be stronger, more stronger and stronger, this delta H value is going to be more and more negative. Okay, so when they combine together, they will release the energy to form a bond. So then the reaction is going to be exothermic. Okay. Yes, now I'll go for the next type. The next type of bond which you are going to study is by sharing of this electron. The first kind what you studied was where one is giving the electron and the other one is taking the electron. Okay, so it was like a complete transfer. But here what is going to happen is both the atoms are there, no, they are going to give the electrons. They are going to share this electron. And such type of bond is called as covalent bond. Okay, so the next category of the bond what you are going to study is about covalent bond, okay, where sharing is going to take place. It can happen between the same atoms, or it can even take place between the different atoms, okay. So sharing of electrons is called as covalent bond. So the bond can be formed between, I said, it can be between the same type of atom, or they can be formed between the different types of atoms, okay. So always when there is sharing, there will be a profit, because imagine if you have your siblings, okay, if you two are sisters or your brothers, okay, if you have bought one thing and your sibling has bought one thing, but if you are sharing, what will happen, that will belong to both of you, okay. So if one thing is brought by you and the other thing is brought by the another one, if both of you are sharing, you will get two things, correct, no? So sharing is always in a profit. And you have to see like how many now in this case, when we are talking about the atoms, we have to search for how many electrons they require. So many number of electrons will be shared to become stable, okay. When the transfer is not possible, they go for sharing of electrons, and that bond is called as covalent bond, okay. So you can write the definition. Covalent bond means the bond which is formed between same or different elements. How? By mutual sharing of the electrons, okay. Such type of bond is called as covalent bond. The next one is the type of covalent bond you have to study. Okay, so the next topic what we have is the type of covalent bond. So formation of single covalent bond will take place if two atoms share one electron pair. Okay, if two atoms are going to share one electron pair, means one electron is given by one atom and the another electron is given by the another atom, okay, then the bond formed between them is called as single covalent bond. For example, in the case of chlorine, okay, example is formation of chlorine molecule, okay. So if you check out the bonding between this chlorine molecule, you will understand how they have been linked to each other by a bond, okay. So now here chlorine, you know, chlorine atomic number is 17. So we are going to make use only of the valence electron. So write down the Lewis structure only for the number of electrons which are present in the outermost shell. So you know atomic number is 17 for them. Now since we are talking about the formation of the covalent bond, so here two chlorine atom we are going to take. Chlorine atomic number 17, so 2, 8 and then 7. Only 7 electrons are present in their outermost shell. So I will take two chlorine atom, one chlorine on this side, one more chlorine on the other side, okay. So just for convenience, we will write the electrons which we are going to share in the front, okay. So total 7 are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7th one I am writing here, okay. Like that only on this side, on the another chlorine atom also they will have 7, okay. There is no change because both are similar type of atom, same kind of atom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 7th one, okay. Now check out how many electrons they require. Chlorine atom, they have already 7 electrons. If they want to become stable, they want to copy that noble gas, they require 1 electron. So what this chlorine atom is going to do is, they are going to share 1 electron from each side, okay. So this 1 electron will be shared by 1 chlorine atom, so I will just take this out, okay. 1 electron is given by 1 chlorine atom and then another electron will be given by the next chlorine atom. So when they give this 1, 1 each, total number of electron what they are going to get now, okay, after sharing, they have given 1, 1 each. So when they have shared this, those 2 electrons will belong to both of them. So here these 2 will be there. Along with that, you have 6. So it will be 8. Like that only for another chlorine atom also. They have shared 1, 1 each. So when they share, it belongs to both of them. So here 2 and then the remaining will be 6. Okay. So here I can write it down in this way. on this side I'll write. Okay, shared one I will put here in the center. The unshared one you keep as it is on them. Okay, so here 6 are there on one chlorine atom, and again 6 are there on the another chlorine atom. Okay, so which we have shared. No, along with that shared one you have to circle like this. Okay, and then again over here also we will circle it along with them. Okay, now 2 electrons are shared. See, remember, 2 electron means one bond. Okay, 2 electron means one bond. If there are 4 electrons they are going to have, okay, means 2 pairs are shared. Okay, so here 1 2 3 4, then it is going to be a double bond. If there are 3 electron pair, then it is going to be a triple bond. Okay, this you need to keep in mind. 2 electron pair is called a single bond. So between this chlorine and chlorine atom, they are going to have a single bond. Okay, I will write it on this side because I don't have a place. So I am writing over here. Okay, so between the chlorine and chlorine, you can write it exactly below this. So between chlorine and chlorine, there is a single bond, and these electrons remain as it is on them. Okay. Yes, write down. Not 7, there are 6, okay, 6 each, and then in between that line, if you put the line in between, line has 2 electrons. Okay, so this 2 electron plus 6, can you all see these dots? No, because I didn't have a place over here, I have written it on this side. If you want, I will write it up. Chlorine and then chlorine, these 2 are the electrons. Okay, one bond means I said 2 electrons, so these 2 are there for them because they have shared, so it will belong to both of them. When you share, it belongs, both of them will have the authority on this. So here remaining will be 6 because 6 electrons already they have, which they have not shared. They have shared only 1. Okay, that 1 has come in the center. So this 6 here, and then again 6 on this side. So this bond is called as single covalent bond because it is being formed by sharing 1 electron pair. Okay, 1 electron pair is shared between the 2 atoms. We can even explain for hydrogen molecule, but in the hydrogen case, you remember, it will give you a duplet configuration. Okay, because for them to become stable, they have to copy the noble gas, which is helium, and helium has 2 electrons. So only for hydrogen case, when they are forming a covalent bond, it will be a duplet configuration. Okay. Whereas for other elements, it will be 8 electrons in their outermost shell. For covalent bond. Okay, I'll go for the next one. See, next is formation of double bond. So double covalent bond means if two atoms share two pair of electrons, then the bond formed between them is called as double covalent bond. Okay. For single, one pair of electron. For double, it will share two pair of electron. Example in the formation of oxygen molecule. Okay. Oxygen molecule, how they are formed, you can explain. See, oxygen atomic number is 8 and electronic configuration will be 2 and then 6. They are short of 2 electrons each. So you write down the molecule, okay. Oxygen and oxygen, I'm writing this side, okay. See, the element symbol you have to write. There it was chlorine, so I wrote chlorine in the center. Now it's oxygen, you will write the symbol of the oxygen. 6 electrons are there. So I will put 6 dots, okay. So I will write it on this side because I said you write according to our convenience because we have to share those electrons. So I have put here 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5 and then 6. Okay. Similarly, for the another oxygen, write a mirror image. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5, 6. How many they require? So many they will share. Okay. So your required is how many? For this oxygen they require 2 and the another oxygen also requires 2. Okay. So when they require 2, they will share so many. Okay. Since they require 2 electrons to become stable, so they will share 2 electrons. Okay. How much is required? So many will be shared. So they share 2 electrons each. So I can put this for sharing. 2 electrons each. I will put it for sharing. Okay. So here these 2 electrons are shared by one oxygen atom. And these 2 will be shared by the another oxygen atom. Okay. So they will come in the center. Shared ones will come in the center. So here 1, 2, 3 and then 4. Okay. 4 electrons will come. So that means 2 electron pair. Remaining you write as it is. Remaining these are there. No. 4 electrons are still there on them. Okay. So these 4 electrons keep it as it is. Even on the another oxygen, these electrons you keep as it is. Okay. Now you circle with the electrons what they have shared. Okay. So here I am circling with the shared electrons. Even for the another oxygen also I have to circle with the shared electrons. So now here 4 electrons means how many bond will be there? 4 electron means they should be having a double bond between both of them. Okay. So here oxygen and oxygen is having a double bond with these electrons as it is. Okay, these are not shared. So it's very easy, students. Okay, you don't have to worry much. Just remember the electronic configuration. And then since they are sharing, you have to check out how much is required. So many electrons they are going to share. One last type we have, that is formation of triple covalent bond. So here if they are forming triple covalent bond, that means these 2 atoms are going to share 3 pairs of electron. Okay, then the bond formed between them will be a triple covalent bond. Okay. And for this, the example is formation of, yes, very good, formation of nitrogen. Okay. So formation of nitrogen molecule you will see they have a triple bond, but we will see how they develop that triple bond between them. Nitrogen, atomic number is 7. So electronic configuration is 2 and then 5. Okay. 2 and 5. 5 electrons are present in their outermost shell. Nitrogen molecule. So you will write 2 nitrogen atom. 1 nitrogen I've written here. One more on this side. 5 are there. No, you show those 5 electrons. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5 I've put here. Okay. I said we are writing according to our convenience so that we can share those electrons easily. Now here also 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5. Okay. How many they require? They require 3 electrons because they have 5 already with them. They require 5 electrons to become stable. So they will share also. So they have 5. They require 3. Sorry, 5 electrons they already have. They require 3 electrons. So they will share 3 electrons. Okay. So those 3 electrons I will take together for sharing. This 3 we will put it together. Okay. These 3 electrons we are going to keep it for sharing even here. Okay. This we will keep in the center. Okay. Keep them with the pairs. Okay. Don't keep like 3 dots and then 3 dots one below the other. Not to keep it like this 1, 2, 3 and then 1, 2, 3. Okay. You are going to keep them in pairs because to form a bond, there should be only 2 electrons. You can't have more than 2 electrons to form a bond. Minimum requirement is only 2. Okay. So that is the reason we will keep this 2 pairs each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and then 6. If you write like this, no, you'll get a 0. This is the correct way of writing. Okay. Because 2 electrons, 1 single bond. Okay. And then nitrogen atom and then nitrogen atom here. 2 electrons are there on them. Okay, these 2 electrons are not shared by the nitrogen atom. So this will be there. Whichever they have shared, you take along and then circle it. Even here, these are shared. So I'm taking along with this and circling it. So now count whether they are having 8 electrons. This 6 they have, plus this 2 they have, correct, it is 8. Even for this nitrogen atom, 6 plus 2, 8 electrons. Okay, so how much they require? So many electrons they always share to become stable. Yeah, you can directly draw. Needn't do all this. Okay, directly you can draw. If you're comfortable drawing, you give the last structure. Okay, this one. Or you can even write this one. See here. 2 electrons each. No, you can show them in the form of bond. So 1, 2 and then 3 bonds. So triple bond is there between them. And these 2 electrons you write as it is. Below this you can write this. Yes, so you studied just now about the formation of covalent bond. So there was a single covalent bond and then you studied about double covalent bond and then triple covalent bond. Okay. Now if you have observed there, okay, if you have observed correctly, now in this chlorine atom, 2 electrons are shared. Okay. 2 electrons are shared and after that there are electrons which are not shared. Okay. These are not shared and these 2 electrons are shared. So the electrons which are shared between the 2 atoms, they are called as bond pairs. Okay, because they are involved in bonding, so they are called as bond pairs. And the electrons which are not involved in bonding, these are just present on them. Okay, they have not given these electrons for bonding purpose. So these are called as non-bonding electrons. Okay, they are named as non-bonding electrons. Or they are also called as lone pair of electron. Lone pair of electrons because they are left alone. They are not taken part in the bond formation. So that is the reason they are not named as non-bonding electrons or lone pair of electrons. So if you see on the chlorine atom, there are 3 pairs which are lone pair and 1 pair is a bond pair. On the oxygen atom, if you check out, there are 2 pairs which are bond pairs and then 2 pairs are there which are lone pair of electrons. In the nitrogen case, there are 3 pairs which are bonded. So 3 bond pairs we have, and then 2 on each. So that means one pair is there which is not involved in bonding. So one lone pair. Okay. One lone pair on the nitrogen, 2 lone pair on the oxygen atom each. One oxygen atom has 2 lone pair. Okay. Chlorine has 3 lone pair. Okay. So that is the bond pair and lone pair of electron. This you have to make a note. The shared pair of electrons which are present between the two atoms, they are called as bond pair. And the valence electrons which are not involved in the bonding, they are named as lone pair or they are named as non-bonding electrons. Lone comes from like alone. They are left alone. They are not involved. They are not participating in the bonding. So they are named as lone pair.